Welcome back to Humankind. We're here at turn 41. Of course, we're playing on a fast speed. It's not the normal speed of the game. And we're here at the end of the Ancient Era. I've gotten my 7 stars for this era, actually more than that. Last time we stuck around in this era longer to get some more stars and some more fame, which has me leading the game by a pretty good amount right now. But we are falling behind as far as like technology goes, because I'm still in the first era. But we're gonna go to the second one right now and start to catch up on people. Maybe not green, but we'll deal with them later. So here's the situation. I have 2 cities and this outposted territory, which I think I want to turn into my 3rd city. And as far as that goes, one thing that I mentioned last time and then I forgot to go back to it was the city cap. You can find that right here under the button that lists all of our cities. 2 out of 3. So when you start a game of Humankind, I think the city cap is 2. And then as you go through getting certain technologies and so on, or some civics, it raises the city cap. So right now we have a cap of 3 and we have 2 cities. This is not a hard cap, but it basically means, you know, this is how many cities you can have before your people start to have a problem. And it's not even necessarily a big problem, but maybe a little problem. So we can go over the city cap. If I make my 3rd city here, we'll be totally fine. If I make a 4th city, or if I take like a 4th city, then we'll start to lose influence every turn. Like this plus 71 will go down just by a little bit to like plus, 65 or something. So going 1 over the city cap is not a big deal. You lose a little bit of influence every turn, but it's a very small effect. So I think going 1 over the cap is not really a big deal. But for every additional city you go over the cap, that penalty gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So if we were 5 cities over the cap, we'd be losing a lot of influence every turn, which could be problematic. So just keep that in mind as you go. We can definitely go up to 4 cities and it won't be a problem, but any farther than that right now, and we might start to lose all of our stars. Now then, let's move on to the next era. Again, I can do this because I got 7 stars. We actually got more than that, but you need at least 7. So we're moving into the classical era. We can see that our competitors have already picked these cultures. Of course, because I'm way behind them, they're always going to have chosen some of them before me. So here's what we have available. Romans, Marians, Celts, Greeks, Axumites, and Egyptians for cultural transcendence. Basically, in the ancient era, you pick your first culture, right? We picked Egyptians. Every era after that, you have a chance to change to a new one, or you can continue being the one that you already are. We could pick Egyptians again, and what will that get us? If you pick the Transcendence, we get a 10% bonus to all fame that we get going forward. So remember, you need the highest fame to win. So we get a 10% bonus for the rest of the game if we stick with Egyptians again. Let me see, Chisel and Draft. I think this is a new trait. This isn't what we had before, right? So we'd get a new permanent trait, I think. Plus 5% industry. I'll have to go back and check that. That might be what we got the first time. I don't remember. But we definitely get the fame bonus. So if you're like, hey, right now I really like being the Egyptians. I really like being able to make pyramids, and I want to continue doing that, and I want the fame bonus for the rest of the game, you can just stick with who you already are. The problem being, of course, that you don't get anything new. If we pick one of these other cultures, we get the new trait, right, that applies for the rest of the game. We get a new district and a new unit we can make. So that's up to you if you want more fame, or if you want some new stuff for your civilization, or if you want to change direction, right? If I wanted to, right now we've been a builder culture, but if I was like, no, right now I really want to go heavy into science, then I would want to switch to the Greeks, right? Because that's kind of their thing. So, what do we want to do? I'm not going to do cultural transcendence. I usually don't do that. But what do we want to do? Axumites are going to be about gold and trade. Greeks are going to want to do lots of science. Celts are agrarian, so we're going to want to build a lot of population. Marians want to get influence stars. The Romans are like a military culture, but they get the most fame from expansion, not necessarily killing. Like you can see they have like a military bonus trait. They have Praetorian guards, but their district is about influence and stability. and you get fame on probably taking over cities, and they're going to get the most fame from expanding territory, which will probably be from, you know, taking it from other people in a war. But it's a little different from killing a lot of enemies like the Goths and the Huns are going to want to do. So at the end of last time, I was thinking, you know, hey, we're in an alliance with Orange. They're fighting with Pink right now. What if we also went to war with Pink, and maybe we can wipe them out, and maybe we can take this land? That could be good for us. Usually when I play civilization type games, I don't like to be aggressive. I usually just try to, you know, take what I get and make a really nice place. But in Humankind, I really kind of enjoy the war stuff. So I feel like it's a little mean, but, you know, if Pink is wiped out as a player, then what do I care, right? Like, they won't be around to care. So maybe that'll be better for us. Because otherwise we're kind of locked into this land until we can start going across the ocean. So let's pick our new thing. We don't have any of the military options available because they've already been taken. The Romans would help with the fighting, but to get the most fame out of them, we would need to expand, which means besides taking that Pink City, we'd probably want to keep going, you know, and take over the Orange land as well, which I don't feel like I want to do right now. So instead, let's go for a more internal focused culture. We can still fight though. I'm thinking maybe the Celts, right? Focused on building population. We're going to get extra food for the rest of the game. They have these guys that look cool. That's a cool shield. Also famous for fighting naked. Okay, well, I was going to say. And then our emblematic district. Extra food per number of attached territories. And if they're adjacent to farmers' quarters. Okay. Let's go Celts. We got a nice new outfit. And let's do it.
As urban centers grow, both ideas and sewage are generated at a record pace. Arts and sciences flourish as military tactics and mathematical equations become as coveted as physical goods. Empires struggle to control these intangibles, however, as some might trouble their stability. Now you're choosing the agrarian Celts. Let's hope they learn their cooking from the French side.
All of our minor buildings and houses and stuff turn into the Celt things instead of Egyptian, which I think is a cool touch. All right, and we're in the classical era. So, we're going to get the most fame by getting big population. The other stars that we had before are available again, right, with new amounts we need to get to. So let's see, what are our cities doing? Oh yes, let's build these nematons to get a big chunk of food and faith going. We can do one per territory. So we'll get those rolling. Because remember when we were first scouting out this area, I kept saying, you know, look at all this snow. Like, there's not a lot of food. There's not a lot of farmland out here. So I felt like being the Celts for this phase, you know, building these districts as well as more farmers' quarters, like we can get some more food rolling in to this area. That's kind of my hope, but we'll see. We also have access to the next era of technology, so here we go. See, getting philosophy gives us +1 to the city cap, which I was talking about earlier. Let's see, transport galley, that lets us move land units across water, although you'll probably see this later. Early boats and transports can't be on the ocean very long, like maybe 1 or 2 turns, and then they get lost and they sink. So you have to get a technology later to really cross the ocean, but we could definitely do, you know, the coast across to this island, that sort of thing. So that might actually be good. If I could sneak a guy over to this island, maybe I could claim some land. We have our emblematic unit here, Understanding Army. We could also get fortifications. Oh, and the Home Guard, which automatically defends our cities if we get attacked. So that's also useful. I'm going to see if I can start by sneaking a guy over to that island, and then maybe we'll go more for military stuff. I'm just going to move this one unit of archers out. And once they can transport, can I get it over there before anybody else? That's what I'm going to try to do. So you just wait there for 1 second. Okay, now let's talk about war for a little bit. It'll take me a little while to get ready, but we can kind of talk about what we're going to do. So, right now with the Hittites, they're friendly with us. We're at peace. I don't have anything personal against them except that they are warring with our allies. So what I can do is hit surprise war. I'll get a bunch of war support, and then we'll be able to start attacking them. I'm not going to do that right now, but I think soon. Let's talk about war support. I brought it up earlier. Now's probably a good time to talk about it. Let me see here, and we'll look at the crisis tab. Okay, so here's how wars work in this game. A basic overview. And like I said, in Civilization, I usually don't like doing war. I found it kind of boring. I didn't often go for the victory condition of like wiping out everybody's capital. I just didn't find that very fun. But warring in Humankind, I like a lot because I feel like it's more dynamic, it's more interesting. So here's the deal. If you look at the war support of each of our countries, that kind of shows how much support you have from the people to go to war, right? The Hittites being a warlike culture, I think their base war support is very high. Like their people always like to go to war, and then they have a little bit over that, but it's almost full, right? Almost up to 100. So that just means if they go to war, like they are right now with Orange, their people are in it for the long haul right now, right? They are okay with them fighting for a long time. My war support is lower because my people are like, hey, we could go to war with Pink, but we don't really care. They're not like itching to go to war. When you start warring with someone, if we declare war on Pink, these war supports are going to go down every turn. They can go up if you like win a fight, take a city, your people kind of rally behind that. But over time, they'll slowly drop down. And once a side has run out of war support entirely, it hits 0 or it's very low, then your stability starts going down because your people are like, hey, we're tired of this war. We don't want to be fighting anymore. Just end it already. So they start to get a little more impatient with you, right? So having a high war support is good in a war because you have support for a long time. And you're trying to run down your opponent's war support to 0 so that they decided to surrender. Or if we got Pink's war support down to 0, I could ask them to surrender and be like, hey, I'm going to stop attacking you, warring with you, if you give me these things, right? Send me gold, give me one of your cities, that sort of thing. So the bottom line is the more war support you have, it's kind of like an advantage for the overall scope of the war. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win or that you have better units or anything. It's just like you can fight for a long time. If your war support is really low, people don't want to be at war, you're more likely to have to surrender earlier. Okay, does that make sense? Great. Now, the other part of this is the crisis tab. Our grievances. And when I first played Humankind, I did not understand what this meant, but now I think I get it, so I can explain it to you. Every time you take an action on the map, moving guys around, founding a city, whatever, if it would bother another player, they get a grievance against you. And those show up here in the crisis tab. And these are basically like, hey, Pink has slighted me in these ways. And they stay in this list for a few turns. And for each one, we have two choices. We can either renounce them saying, hey, I don't actually care. You did something bad to me, but it doesn't bother me, and we'll just forget about it, right? So that's a great thing to do if you're friendly with someone. Demands, though, is saying, hey, you did something that annoyed me, and you need to pay me back if you want to remain on good terms, right? So right now we have two grievances against Pink. They're at war with our ally, Orange. And so we can either let it go, or we can make a demand of them and say, you have to pay us 320 gold, or otherwise we're going to be unhappy. Oppressing my people comes from this city, and I believe that's because our culture there is high. Let me see. Yeah. So hitting the button down here in the corner, this is the society tab, right? It represents kind of how our influence, how our culture has spread. So it is spread into the Pink cities. And even though they legally belong to the Huns, the people in this city more identify with us. They feel more like they belong with us rather than the Huns. And that's why we got this grievance for oppressing my people. Because and this was automatic too. This just happened because we have a high influence here. We're saying, hey, the people living here are my people, right? They're Celts, really. And so I can, if I hit demand, then I say, give me that city, because those are my people, right? So basically, if I wanted to remain on good terms with them, I'd probably just renounce these and say, hey, it's water under the bridge. But if I'm about to go to war with them, or if I'm more powerful than them, I might start making demands and saying, give me all this stuff. You know, I'm better than you. Give me that city. Send me some money because I'm annoyed, right? I think that's a pretty cool system. I think it's fun. So we're probably going to make some demands of them, but I would like to prepare a little bit more before we start getting aggressive. Hey, we finished the pyramids. Oh, we finished the pyramids before already, but now we have enough influence to claim another one. What do we want to get? Colossus of Rhodes. And sorry, I know this is going real slow. I've only done like one turn, but there's a lot to talk about, right? Later on in the game, we'll just be flying through turns. Colossus of Rhodes. Militia are not lost over time during sieges. So if someone is sieging my city, I keep my militia no matter what. We get extra militia, more stability. The militia is stronger. Okay, interesting. So if we feel like our cities are going to get attacked, this is a nice defensive bonus for us. Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Big stability, influence, and science. That's pretty simple. Statue of Zeus. Gives us faith, other stuff. Extra money per alliance. And extra stability on all of our cities and outposts, which is nice. That's kind of a good general one. And Hanging Gardens is... Oh, that was from Era 1. We already saw that one. So really these three new ones. Orange has already taken the Lighthouse, which is a naval combat bonus wonder. Maybe let's take the Colossus. Just in case we get attacked by anyone. That'll help with our defense. We'll give that one a shot.
So, what do you say?
Orange has asked us for Intelligence Coalition, which lets us see their spies and things. I don't even know if that applies right now, but we'll go ahead because we're in good with them. And then, gonna wait there. Okay, let's move on. Sorry, since the last time that I played, I've thought about a bunch of things. I'm like, next time I really want to talk about all this stuff, so I'm just blowing through it before I forget. We got trade expeditions, so now we can do transport galley. So let's get these guys out onto a boat. There we go. And I'm going to go check out this island and see what's going on.
So, tell me, shall we become closer?
Pink wants open borders with me.
I'm happy to consider what more we may do together.
Which I don't mind, but are we going to go to war with you soon? Maybe. What if I counteroffer?
Not a yes, more of an almost.
Oh, I thought it was going to let me pick something. Maybe he has to pay me for it.
Once again, you show how inadequate you are.
I don't actually know.
You have the right, of course, to...
All right, stop arguing. Let's go for fortifications. Because we'll get that home guard.
With 5 farmers' quarters, the people certainly have enough bread. Will 5 circuses be built next?
Ah, dang, I should have done open borders so I could use his coastline. I'm stupid.
It was not love.
Can I change my mind? Do you want open borders still? Great. Thank you, dummy. I'm going to swim right through there. Okay, Colossus of Rhodes is only going to take 6 turns, which is not bad. And remember that our star goal is to get lots of population, lots of food too. So why don't we start with some food buildings? These all give me extra food. Those two do. Our stability is not looking too great, so I'm going to also make the public fountain there. We have an event. Let's see. Making a farming caste. It's probably good for our culture. We could establish it and get extra food for 5 turns. Or if we do the school route, then we get more science. Let's establish that caste. That seems good for us. All right, we got fortifications. And we got enough faith that we can start a religion. Religion is not something that I've delved into too far so far. So I don't know exactly how everything works. But my general understanding is, you know, you can make your own religion and then it can spread kind of like culture does. And, you know, depending on what people in your civilization believe in, you get different bonuses, or you can spread it throughout the world. And some of those buildings we've seen are like, hey, you get a bunch of bonuses if everyone follows your religion, that sort of stuff. I haven't done like a religious playthrough yet, but probably I will sometime. Right, we picked shamanism in the civics earlier on. Egyptians, shamanism, and we can pick it to be something else. I'll just stick with shamanism, that's fine. We get to pick one of these tenets to be part of our religion. Green has already picked the food one, which we could have used, but that's okay. Let's see here. Let's go for influence, just because I'm doing pretty good on the influence side already, so what if we boosted that? Yeah, everyone who's an Egyptian shaman will get extra influence. And now we're going to open borders through pink here. And we're going to research standing army. Oh, right. I forgot to do this earlier. And good, we just got enough influence to make our third city. Nemosos. We're at 3 out of 3 for the city cap, so no influence loss. And this is perfect because we can start building up here as well. Just gonna sneak right on by you. This transport galley is very slow. All right, why don't we do the Colossus? Where can we build it? Out in the water. Right here, I guess. Out in the shoals. And we got a new civic. Religious tolerance. Will we be open-minded? Where we get stability on all cities for non-state religion followers, so other religions coming in. An influence per state religion follower in territory. On territories. That's such a confusing way to read that. A religious hostility is low stability if other religions come in, but we get faith on all territories. And we have a new grievance that can be triggered for religion. Open-minded is fine with me.
Well and good, until they start worshipping delivery services and bank accounts.
Builder Star. Keep on moving, archers. I just want you to go outpost that island before anyone else gets there. Nobody's there, right? No, it's still blank. I'm hoping that they don't notice. Okay. Here, we can do this district. It's a garrison. It's like a fort. Extra fortification. And if we fight near our garrison, we're a little stronger. So that might be good if we're trying to take this city or if we're fighting back against them. Do one of those there. Okay. Ransack gains. We could get quadriremes. Research quarters. That's a science district we can build. That's probably good.
Come. Both our peoples need this.
Orange wants customs union. The buyer is acquitted from non-essential fees when accessing this empire's resources. So it's just a little discount for both of us. Nothing wrong with that. All right, can I survive this trip? Let's see. So I'm moving him out to the ocean. It's darker water, right? And next turn it's going to say he's lost at sea, as long as he survives. We got our garrison. Looks great. And let's get some more food rolling. Oh yeah, this event. These events I think are the same every time you play, because I've seen all of them before. It's like, oh, in Thebes they're doing something weird. Do we want to punish them or adopt their weird traditions, or we can just say, I don't care. And I don't care at all. Whatever they're doing. Army is lost at sea. Yeah, so it's got this X on it because it's like, hey, if they don't get out of the ocean soon, they're going to die. But if we move them back to the coast, they should be fine. Yeah. More farms. Hydrology researched. Really hoping I can land on this island somehow. Okay. Oh, well. Oh no, we have... The city cap is 4, so I could do a city on this island too, and we would not have any problems. Let's get mounted warfare. And I should start making some units. Why is this... Oh, it's mutinous. I probably got a notification about that I missed. So Thieves is not building this district, and they probably haven't been building anything for a while because I wasn't paying attention, but their stability is too low. They're like, we're not building any more districts. You idiot. It's too unstable. So instead, we're going to build a public fountain there, and then we'll see what happens. That's why you got to keep an eye on the stability. Okay. I can go this way and still make it out of the ocean. Their stability is going up a little bit, but I probably want to cool it on the districts until that gets better. Aqueduct also gives us stability, so we'll build that as well. They're still okay up here. How about a maker's quarter? Army has lost at sea.
Mighty image
hey!
of a mighty empire, and it's discreetly garbed in a toga for those who pass beneath.
Thank you. Beautiful. All right, there's our new wonder. They're lost at sea again, even though they can see land. Get them out of there safely. Okay, we now can extract iron. So let's get iron. And we could get a second harbor up here at our other territory, which would give us food. That's about it. Maybe while our stability is going up. Oh yeah, our food is dipping, so we should get some more food. Artificial reservoirs will give us more food on this river. And then maybe we'll make some farmers' quarters if we can. That stability is starting to go down. Let's make some units. We've learned how to make Gaisati, or however you might say that. So, when we're making units, it not only takes production, you know, it'll take 2 turns to build them, but it also takes this city's population. We have 7 people living here. So if you make units, you know, they would be -7 total, then not only is your city not outputting much because all the people have gone to war, but you won't be able to make any more units until you get more people. So if you want to crank out a lot of military units, you want to be making a lot of food as well to get that population back up. But maybe we can make 4 to start. We got mounted warfare. We have enough influence already. We're getting good influence gains. We have enough to make another wonder already. Now, if I was closer to getting to Era 3, maybe I would wait and get an Era 3 wonder, but we're still early on in 2. So will either of these be helpful? Money per alliance, stability. Statue of Zeus is 15 stability on every city, right? And 40 overall. The mausoleum is only 20, period. Let's go for Statue of Zeus.